How you doing? Been a hot minute. Gregory Scott here, Kush After Hours. Let's reboot this channel, shall we? To everybody who's been writing to me in the last 6 or 7 months and just giving me well wishes, thoughts and prayers, I appreciate it because I definitely needed them. I have been recovering from a spinal injury. Not something you think you're ever going to say. And I've spent several months just laying flat on my back, staring at a ceiling. And there were times when I could not feel my left leg. And there were times when I couldn't stand up because of my left leg. Oh boy, I thought I knew pain. But it turns out I didn't know pain. Anyway, you think there's not a lot you can do when you're laying on your back staring at the ceiling, but it turns out there actually is a lot you can do. You get creative, especially in our space, just playing with sound. And in the last 5-6 months, I have learned a lot about mixing that I intend to share on this channel. And a lot of how I think about things, especially the frequency spectrum and EQing, has changed in the last 6 months because of a couple things. I had a couple of amazing conversations with a brilliant mastering engineer, and he shared with me some different ways to break up lows, mids, and highs, very different than I had been doing it before. It really changed fundamentally how I approach listening to the sound spectrum and shaping, especially 2 to 4K, and getting things above 4K connected to things below 2K, which is a hell of a trick. And it turns out I think that's been the biggest flaw in all of my mixes to date. And I think it's really worked out. So I also spent a lot of time mixing on my MacBook Pro because, laying in bed. And that will teach you a lot about your high frequencies in short order because they're just horrible coming out of that laptop. They're highly compressed and distorted, and they just kind of attack your face. And so if you don't have not just smoothness and sort of a good balance there, but if you don't have them connected, your high frequencies to the mid-range, you'll hear it on that laptop as a kind of a hole in things. It's just sort of this soft emptiness there, and you can't get loudness on that computer. And I feel like I've cracked the code on that as well, and I'm looking forward to sharing that. So come the new year, I'm going to reboot this channel. So I'm just here to say thank you for your patience and sticking with me. I look forward to getting back in the game. I am highly aware that I owe you all a couple of really important videos, and those are my top priority coming back. One is complementary frequencies. And it turns out it's really good that I waited on that one. Because of the conversations with the mastering engineer. My center point for the complementary frequencies has shifted, and as a result, what I think of as this is the counterpart to that has changed, and I'm glad to be giving you the new take on that because it's really cool. And also a deep dive on Sneaky Little Devil's Dream by Dream, which I had to remix in the box because the original mix had hardware inserted all over the place, and as I was sort of parsing out how to present that to you all, I realized I would need like 3 extra cameras and 10 times the editing time, and I don't have the patience for that. So I just remixed it in the box, and that was an interesting process. I'll share that with you. I think the new mix is vastly better because I moved my hardware to the front end, and I re-recorded a few elements in the song with a lot of analog coloration up front so that the plugins didn't have to do all that work. And I now vastly prefer that workflow. I'll talk about that as well, about getting the analog on the front end of things and then just mixing in the box. Lots of good stuff in store. Thanks so much for your patience, for your kindness, and the well wishes. And I am really excited about the new year and hitting the ground running. Gregory Scott, Kush Audio. See you soon.